Hello? Hello, how is everyone doing? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm back. I'm back. Yes, I am back. Second night in a row. Who would have thought? Anyway. Oh, let me move closer. Hang on. There we go. But who would have thought I'd stream twice in a row now? But, you know, I had an interesting day at work, and I'm just like, oh, I feel like socializing still. But, like, gosh, it is just so cold out lately. And I was working mainly outside. Like, it wasn't really outside. It was more of like a... How would I describe it? It was more of like a... I was kind of just like in a box. And like, people were just like driving up, like going up to me. And they were like, oh. I was like, oh yeah, how can I help you? And they were like, oh, I just need this, this, this. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, oh, are you cold? Aren't you cold? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I had a space heater with me. And I was just like, and they're just like, you need a sweater. Oh my gosh, you're like barely wearing anything. And I'm like, no, this is how I always dress. Like, I'm fine. But yeah, then I came home and I just warmed up a bit. And so yeah, that was it. What am I even talking about anyway? But it's just like one of those things where you're just like so wound up from basically doing the same thing all day. And then it's like, oh, I want to go and talk more to random people on the internet and just tell them about my day, because you all seem to be really interested in that. But I hope you all are having a wonderful day. But so I saw that the new FNAF Help Wanted thing was out already. That's good, Dak. And I don't have a VR set, but I was like watching Oshi play it this morning, and he was like doing this sim where basically he was like in food service, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like actually like scary. Like, this is scarier than the game itself, where you're just like trying to fill people's orders while they just like stare you down. And like the stuff they ask for is just plain horrifying. Like, he had to put like hot sauce on flan, and I was like, no, that doesn't go on flan. That was so gross. But yeah, there's the real horror movie, Working for Minimum Wage. I do like those that genre of horror games that people seem to be making these days, where it's just like mundane horror. I guess that's what it would be called, where you're just like an everyday person, and the real horror is like you just doing your job, and like weird shit just happens all the time all around you. And I'm like, oh yeah, just another day as a Starbucks barista. But oh god, I've had some like, oh yeah, those Chillazart games, yeah, those are fun. And yeah, I've played a few of those on stream. I play some more. I don't know, sometimes they're a bit too intense for my liking though. Because I don't know about you all. Overnight motel court. You do? Oh, I bet you have some great stuff to share. Oh god. I've like read like so many stories about that, and it's just like I can't decide what is worse, like the fact that you like who has it worse, like the clerks or the housekeeping staff. Like probably the housekeeping staff has seen like the true horrors that people have left behind. Yeah, I guess Gummy is. I've I've done a few overnights. At my old job I did, and it was not fun. But the best part is I could listen to my own music and like whatever, like and like I could listen to music and podcasts like out in the open because there weren't any customers around, and just to have that keep me motivated to keep working. But it's just like hard to do overnights when normally you're working dayside, and it just like screws you up for like a week or so. But yeah, that's luck. You're good. That's lucky. Because I heard some bosses are like super strict about like always looking productive. And I'm just like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, when there's nobody around, and like the one job I have is to just wait for people to come in. Like the job I do now, like there is always something going on. So it's not that hard to find like busy work. Well, I wouldn't say it's busy work. I would say it is actually essential stuff that does need to get taken care of. But I mean, like, there's just always something to do at my new job. And sometimes it's like you can get, it's easy to get overwhelmed too, because you can just have a billion things happening at once. And just like the people coming in and just saying, just like coming in and everybody needs something, and like the lines just keep getting longer and longer, and it's like, oh my god. like it just never ends. But I mean, it's okay. It makes the day go by fast. I don't mind it really. At the end of the day, I'd rather work where my job I'd rather work my current job than any of my old jobs. Like, I'm just gonna be real here. Just turning up the music a bit. But it's great to like have money coming in again. And like maybe with this new income flow, I can actually invest more into this channel and possibly do some projects besides gaming and doing my chatting streams. And I can definitely upgrade my PC once I have a little more. It's a service job. It's not in sales, it's more of like providing a service. But it's not, it's something that pretty much anybody can do. Granted, if you have like the mental the mental endurance to deal with it. But the thing is, it's brutal, but it's one of those things where I just don't mind. Because my old job, it was like when people would get upset at me about something. Hello, Reeb. when people get upset about me at something, I'm like, oh my god, why are you getting upset over this thing like happening? But with this current job, at least I can understand why people would be upset when something doesn't work out, and it makes me like want to help them more. It's weird. It's like, because of the higher level of accountability of my current job, it makes me like want to work harder. And I kind of enjoy having like a big responsibility and having that accountability. Because I feel like if I just don't see like the whole reason, like the overall picture for something, I just like don't have any motivation to do it. And like, that's like honestly the trick to like figuring out whether or not something works for you, is how motivated are you to do it. And it's like, how motivated are you to really excel at it? Like, that's the main thing. Like with me with streaming, I know I was away for a while. And I did want to come back, but I just had so much going on that it just wasn't like working out. I had family over, and I also had my streaming room basically like renovated, and I was dealing with somebody in my household moving out, so it was just like everything was all over the place, and I just couldn't find the time or the space to stream. Yeah. But now it's all like worked out. Like everything's all set up again, and I do have some more plans for future content, and I do want to grow this channel, and I do want to, you know, kind of cater to my strengths, which is apparently talking y'all's heads off. But it'll be something to look forward to. We'll see. But what else? Hello! Hi. Good night, Ayame-chan. Thanks for stopping by. My strength are just the chill vibes. You know, maybe it's because I have kind of settled into what my strengths are. But I always saw myself that as like kind of a high-strung person up until I started streaming. And maybe it's because I am getting like I am like kind of just like settling into my comfort zone, and I am getting a little older, and like, you know, just I am putting myself out there, but it's just kind of one of those things where, you know, maybe it's okay to be kind of a chill streamer. I mean, most people that speak the language I do, like, around this time is when they're ending their day, and maybe they don't want to have somebody who's just screaming all the time and like yelling. I mean, there's like different kinds of streamers. There's like chill, there's chaotic, there's fan service. There's really a lot of different kinds out there. And of course there's like just like people who are just naturally really good at it, and then I call it, there's like this weird streamer, like I guess I could call it passive buff, where things just happen when you're streaming. Like, more things are just more exciting in games when you're streaming versus when you're playing by yourself. And or like when the camera's on, or you're like obviously doing something on video, like things just happen. Like that like FNAF video I posted, like that like was not staged at all. That was all like honestly like complete. That was me just acting freaked out, and then like then I just have Foxy scream in my face, and I was like, I give up. And I uninstalled FNAF after that because I was like, how the fuck can I get jump scared by Foxy on night 1? And then I was like, I like looked it up, and it was like, oh, apparently I wasn't doing enough. The game thought I was just sitting there because I wasn't checking the camera. Because I forgot to, but. And then there's just like things that have happened on stream. It's honestly because I just forget to do something in a game and then things happen. Or I'm just like not really paying attention. And there's also like that streamer passive where you're just like suddenly like kind of bad at games, like when you play them. And I just like can't explain it. There's just like, it's just like such a different experience than playing by yourself versus playing on a stream. And like even, because I do like find myself like when I'm playing with other people, I do find myself like acting more vocal and like kind of getting into the streamer mode, like making comments about the games, and the people are like, can you just shut up? And I'm like, oh, excuse me. It's like that mindset I just get myself into. One thing you won't hear me doing is talking during movies, though. I don't. Like if I'm at a movie theater, I don't talk during movies. But if I'm like watching, like for example, the watch-alongs I used to do, then I do talk, and because I know that you all want to hear what I have to say. Like if you didn't, you wouldn't be watching with me. All right. Excuse me. But yeah. My strengths are chill vibes amongst other things. Other things such as being really bad at games and being funny while doing it. I don't know. Oh, sorry, I dropped my phone. Let me get some text going. Oops. All right. So. Maybe we'll have another brainstorming session. Maybe. Because I'm thinking, what else can I do on this channel? Like, what else? Because I did get a drawing tablet, so art streams will definitely be happening. I've kind of messed around with it for a little bit on my own, so maybe I can have a few of my artist friends with me and teach me how to draw better, because I'm kind of hopeless. Like, I was like sketching today earlier, like while I was listening to other people's streams. Yeah, community games. I hope my internet is up for that, because yeah, we could try doing that. Like Jackbox, would that be a good one? I think Jackbox would probably be a good one. Or you wanna know what'd be really fun? Is I could get it like a Google Doc going, and I could do like you community submitted things. Obviously I would go over it like before stream and like pick out the ones that I want to read. But I do. But like stuff that you all can like make, like I could also do Q&As. I think that'd be fun. Advice streams, life advice streams. I get though, would you all honestly take life advice from me? Like, let's be real here. I don't even have it together myself. But I could do like story time, like where people submit their just like anything interesting to me, or original like writing, and I can read it on stream if people are comfortable with that. Though granted, like if you do submit it to me, then I'm assuming that you're pretty much giving me permission to read it on stream. Like, that's a given. Could do more tier lists. I think that would be fun. Oh yeah, I still need to do like there's things that I do owe you all, and I apologize for letting that slip. Part of it was lifestyle changes and others, and I'm gonna be honest with you all here. Like, the seasonal change was not very kind to me, and it had nothing to do with anything on this channel. It had more to do with me. Like, I just like thought, I think it was because I wasn't working and I was just like didn't have anything going on, so in a way it was like my brain just kind of became sedentary, and I don't know, I just like wasn't doing much, and it was definitely a seasonal thing that was getting me down. And now that I'm actively up and about again, I do have more motivation to keep going. It's like this cycle I find myself in. It's like the less I do, the more unmotivated I get. But when I have a busy schedule, it's like I want to do more and pack it up. It's like I don't get exhausted by staying busy, from staying busy. If anything, it motivates me. Yeah. Like, I'm not somebody who needs, like, if I take too much time away, it's almost like I exhaust myself from just trying to stay stimulated. This is probably an ADHD thing. Like, I'm just thinking about it because it was like, there's just like a lack of stimulation going on there. And again, it wasn't like anybody's fault or anything like that. Like, nothing like that. It was just like changes, growing pains, no big deal. But you know, like, everybody goes through phases in their life, and sometimes just like getting settled in, it can take a while. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I tell people this all the time. Like, it's not your fault if you're just tired. And it's like, I feel like with everybody, even the things that go on in their own brain aren't even their fault. Like, everybody gets down sometimes. Everybody gets scared and nervous. It's just like when it starts like interfering with your everyday life that you need to like kind of see a professional about that. Well, but there's just like something that I'm figuring out. Oh no, it's fine, it's fine. I'm not graduating anytime soon. Like, don't worry about that. And even if I were, I would like tell you all like where I'd be going. I'd be like dropping hints. Like, but and like if there's a long hiatus of me like not talking, you can always just like, you know, I'll check in from time to time. I'll make community posts. Hello, Dr. Frederick. Hello. I'll make community posts and I'll check in with you all. But just like assume that like silence just means I'm busy. Like, if there really was something going on, like bad. Hello, Vile. Yeah, Vile knows what's happening with me. Vile knows me off stream. Oh. Aw, okay. I won't then. Well, I mean, I won't worry about you all. Like, I honestly hope when that you all are doing well and that life is treating you fair and that you find some bit of joy in my streams. I just, it's like one of those things where I don't know you, but I know of you. And I know the things you say to me, and I know, like... yeah. Yeah, he will. Aw. But I've honestly... There have never been times when I've... Yeah, exactly. Or like somebody who comes into... Like, if you're a barista and somebody comes into your coffee shop every day, and you do kind of develop that... Aw, thank you. You kind of do develop that bit of attachment, like... Especially if it's somebody you see every day, and it's like, you know their order, you know, like how they like their coffee, and you know they sometimes tell you a bit about themselves, like, and maybe they might give you a Christmas card every once in a while, just as like a thanks. But it's like part of a routine. And how can you not get attached to somebody who is part of that regular routine? Maybe. I'm not a barista, though. Yeah, exactly. The coffee shop, yeah. It's like a coffee shop. Yeah. Definitely. But it's like, exactly, it's like you are you see, if you interact with somebody regularly, it's like you do notice things about them and they tell you a little bit about themselves. And especially with VTubing, like, everything that you do is out there. And like people can see that. And like it's so easy to like open up, especially when you have a platform like this. And yeah, exactly. It definitely is a cozy, wholesome framing. But I mean, it's really easy to open up when you aren't talking to people online, because at the end of the day, I'm just sitting in a room talking to my computer, but people and people tune in and listen to me. But it's very interesting because like you all don't know me outside of what I choose to share with you all, what I choose to share like on social media platforms, unless you know me off stream. Like if you all have like, if I've said to you like your real name, if I know your real name, if I know like, if I have your phone number, like, and you all know where I live, like you all know me off stream, like I know I can't hide what I am truly up to from that. But even through this little platform, you can still like kind of get a sense of who I am. And that's really all I can hope for. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent, but I have noticed this with other streamers that they do tend to like reveal themselves, even if they are like, you know, just hiding behind a wiggly anime like animated character. But if anything, a lot of people treat VTubing as almost like a performance. Exactly. And like there are definitely people who go into like the full immersion of VTubing, like to the point. Yeah. A lot of it is personal, some of it is real, but also the parasocial, I don't think parasocialism can be necessarily bad. It's when it becomes like all consuming that it becomes unhealthy. Like for example, like a lot of people have parasocial relationships with their streamers. But if a VTuber like says, "Oh, I want my fans to go for their dreams. I want them to do good in this world." And they do, because they know that will make because that's what their VTuber Oshi wants. Is that really such a bad thing? Or for example, if you like find somebody who really inspires you, like I became a VTuber because of Vox Akuma, like because I saw somebody who was a lot like me, who did we go yes. But like I became a stream. No, we're not talking about big weebies this time. Oh, I did just bring up Voxakuma, and but I'm not gonna go on that tangent. But I became a VTuber because of him, because I saw somebody who's so similar to me, who does very well on this platform. And I was like, oh, if he can get people to watch him, and oh yeah, it's just chatting. We're just chatting. But if somebody like me can do well at this, I was like, maybe I can. And it's like, yeah, I have a webcam, I have a computer, I have a mic. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, and it was because of my parasocial relationship with another VTuber that I was able to do, that I was inspired to do this. Another one I can think of is, you know, if any of you have watched My Hero Academia, if you really think about it, like, before Deku got to know All Might, like, outside of All Might's hero persona, that was a bit of a parasocial relationship on Deku's side, because he felt inspired by All Might to become a hero. I do think with streaming and with interacting with your chat, it's a mutual parasocial relationship though. Because I think on one-sided parasocial is like, the other person isn't aware. Yeah, exactly. he cries a lot, yeah. He does. But like a traditional parasocial relationship is like the one you have with like a celebrity, where you know the celebrity. Exactly, Zach. Where you know the celebrity, but they don't know you necessarily. And a lot of people just like see like their fans as a whole. But with VTubers, it's like, yeah, there are fans that you do remember, and there are definitely people who are more active and talk more. And even people who you do notice who, because they do a lot of art or they show up regularly to streams. But I can tell you, like, if the interactions do mean a lot, and we do remember. Yeah, definitely, because I mean, there have been boundaries that have been crossed between creator and fans. There have been boundaries. Oh, yeah. But like, I'd say if it's like at a meet and greet event or like an official event, then go say hi to them, because that means that if they are doing a meet and greet, that means they want to meet their fans. Like, yeah, definitely. And like, you can't force it either. Like, it has to happen naturally. There was this interview I read way back in the day. So, I'm a Fall Out Boy fan and a Panic at the Disco fan. So, I think this was actually a joke on some level, but so they were, yeah, exactly, how to be a good fan. So they were interviewing Pete Wentz, and they asked him, what's the craziest thing a fan has ever done to get close to you? And Pete Wentz replied as a joke. And he said, oh yeah, a couple of guys started a band called Panic at the Disco. Like, that was like not intentional to like get close to them, but I mean, certainly there's similar musicalities. Like, it definitely did like capture Pete Wentz's attention to the point where he signed them onto his record label. But that was a friendship that was formed because they were both creators. It was a natural friendship. It wasn't like forced or anything. Like, that's honestly, like, I don't want to make this sound weird, but that is one way to kind of like get yourself out there and kind of get people to notice you, is if you put stuff out there, but it shouldn't be the only reason you put your art out there is to get noticed. It should be because you want to have an outlet. You want to put yourself out there just to share that. Yeah, definitely. Exactly. Like, I know it's hard to kind of have those conversations with your viewers, like when those difficult conversations, like when you feel like oh, exactly. Well, that's why we have the chat rules. That's why I put them there, is because those are my boundaries, and that is how I keep myself safe and how I keep people in my chat safe. But, and it's really hard to have those difficult conversations when you feel like a boundary has been crossed. It will, definitely. It definitely will. Also, there's like one thing that I will commend a lot of you on, is when I like lurk in my friends' streams, because I do quite a bit. But I do notice some of you in my friends' streams, and that makes me really happy that you do support the people who really matter to me. And I just think that's cool, you know? That you all support the people who I consider friends. Because my friends are really talented, like a lot, yeah. Exactly. They do. It's okay. Like, honestly, I don't expect people to watch all my streams if I'm doing something that they don't really have interest in. Like, if you'd rather watch somebody else, because that's fine. I'm not gonna get mad. Like, honestly, the only person who has to show up to my streams is me. Like, I'm the only one who has to show up, and I can't even show up to my own on time, so don't even worry about it. And like... Or you can always stream hop. Like, I am not gonna get mad. Like, I'm not a resentful person. I am not a jealous person. In fact, I encourage you all to like go watch other streamers, like when I'm not streaming or when I'm on a break. Like, oh, the VODs will always be there. Yeah. I mean, it can be exhausting. There is this extension. I forget what it's called. Yeah, and it's not good for your computer. I forget what it's called. But there's like this one site where you can, like if somebody's collabing, where you can like, holodecks, yeah. I don't know if you can do it for any VTuber, but it's like you can use it to view everybody's like point of view during a collab. Cause it, yeah, especially, yeah, it is fun. Yeah, it does. Like for example, like if I do like another Among Us collab and I can actually get my stream to work, my point of view to work, it's like fun to like see what other people are doing on their point of view. Like I've definitely done it. Like when a bunch of my favorites are collabing, I will put up their collab point of view. Yeah. Oh, that's so smart. I do know there's like an option in Streamlabs, like if I were to stream, like do multi-streams, like for example, stream on both Twitch and YouTube, I could see the YouTube and Twitch chat at the same time. I know there is a way. There is a way. But it's kind of like tricky. But like I don't really stream much on Twitch. Yeah, there's a plugin. I just find it like hard to decide, like maybe with multi-stream this won't be a problem, but I feel like Twitch and YouTube have like completely different vibes. Honestly, I feel like maybe it's because of the whole YouTuber thing, but I feel like YouTube is like where VTubers really are. They do have different audiences. Like YouTube is more for like, I feel like it's more for people who want long form content, and like Twitch is like good for discovery, or if you're more niche, but YouTube is more of like the personality. I don't know. I know Twitch is like better optimized for live streaming, and it does have like more, oh yeah, it does have more like interactivity. But once YouTube like gets that API, yeah. Yeah, YouTube is just more simpler. And also like I feel like it's simpler with yeah, me too. I've had a YouTube for a very long time. Like I have 2 channels. I have this one that I've had for almost a year now. And I have like my channel that I've had basically since YouTube like became a thing. That I've had for a very, very long time. Like my other account is probably as old as YouTube itself, because I was on it really early on. Oh, the perks of being a 288-year-old demon, you know? You kind of get ahead of it. Yeah. Yeah, I prefer it too. I will use my Twitch account to like watch Twitch streamers, but it's just like also the whole thing where you have to like pay to support people unless you want to follow them, but like yeah, because YouTube, it's like I to see like, yeah, YouTube saves VODs, and with Twitch you have to like export them. If you want to save them, you have to export them to YouTube. But it's really easy to. It's the way I have it set up is there's just like one click. But yeah, it's just like, you know, I feel like YouTube, not everybody is going to want to watch a live stream. I feel like it's more for videos, and Twitch is more for streaming, but no, I mean, it's both up and down. And I do agree it's hard to follow people on multiple sites. Like, that's why I just mainly use, like, I use Twitter to like post updates and like interact with like people, and then I use YouTube to stream, and then I mean Fansly is there, but that's going to be for more mature streams. And I mean Twitch guidelines and YouTube guidelines are very similar with the means of content you can put up there, because it has to be like in all ages, like no adult content. I mean, they do have age restricted content, but that's more for like possibly stuff that could be violent or upsetting versus like adult content. Yeah. Only for... Not for VTubers, though. It definitely favors, like, face cam streamers rather than VTubers. Like the new risque stuff. I heard they were getting rid of that completely because people were calling out the double standards, which... I mean, either you create like an 18+, like dedicated 18+ channel, or you just like don't allow any of it, regardless. Like you can't have that gray area, because so many people will like just try their best to bend the rules. Yeah. I think that's because like I would go onto like yeah, it does. VTuber. Or V-streamer. Yeah. Because I think the... No, that's Chatterbait. Like, there are adult-oriented streaming sites. V-Twitcher, that doesn't really sound appealing. I think it's because the big VTubers were originally on YouTube, and they would create like videos. Like the one that I can think of that was like the real big one was Kizuna Ai. Like, she was kind of the first one. But, like, I thought I was, like... I thought she was, like, an AI. And that's... Like, I was, like, not making the connection that was a person behind the facial rig. Like, I thought, like... I thought, oh, is that, like... Yeah, she was. Because that was, like, somebody... who had the facial rigging technology. And then, like, I know HoloLive, like, they'd started back in 2017, but they used, like, 3D animation first. Yeah, because HoloLive had their 3D, like, 3D girls who are still around, but it It's almost like VR chat, like the first VTubers. And then once Live 2D like started coming about, and then that's when it first started like getting like really big, was when the Live 2D thing happened. And then like yeah. And then like when Hololive had Myth like debut in the West, that's, yeah, they are cool. But like I think the big VTuber boom in the West started when Hololive started their English branch, like the one with Callie and Goda and all of them. But it's been I like can't even believe that hasn't even been that long ago. Like VTubing has grown so much in the past couple years. Like I think in Hollow Myth is going to be in their 4th year, which really isn't that long. Yeah, I had heard of Gerda before I started watching VTubers. Because I remember like people like saying, oh yeah, there's this like shark anime avatar that like plays games, and I was like, what? Like, what is that? Like, I didn't realize. Yeah. I think what it needs to become mainstream. I mean, I had watched streamers before, but it was almost always face cam or like voice only streamers. Oh yeah, Melody. Melody was a big one. I had heard of Melody. Melody is an icon. I love her. And like some of the V Shoujo girls I had heard of, like I had heard of Iron Mouse. Oh, so because it was like you thought that was the only content they had to offer. Exactly. Because it allows people to have an identity without like giving up their privacy. And really, anybody with a webcam and a computer and a microphone can do it. Yeah, but I think what Mel does is fine though, because she makes it very clear. Like, she makes her boundaries very clear, and like she has her like non-lewd stuff too. Yeah, it is. It is sincere. But like people. Yeah. She does safe for work content. I mean, well, relatively safe for work, but she does Twitch friendly content. Like she does. I mean, she still does her Chatterbait streams, and she still does like those kind of streams, but it's more she has a variety, and she's more like approachable to other people, and she's also like in a way become like a mentor to other content creators. Like she's very well respected now in the VTubing sphere. And she can like easily cross over into other content creators. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I've never encountered anybody like that who is that manipulative of their audience, like personally. But because I think for the most part, most streamers are very genuine people. And like, it's kind of funny because the people who become successful, there's like absolutely zero intentions of becoming famous. They were just somebody who turned on their camera and decided to be funny. Like, take. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I've heard people compare it to drag, honestly, VTubing and like wrestling, where everything is there. You are playing a character with your own lore. But it depends on how immersive people want to go with it too, because there's people who go full immersive, and I mean, I do mention, yeah, I think exactly. One person that I've always looked up to is Markiplier, and he did not want to. He didn't start creating content for the intention of being famous. He just wanted to like make people laugh. Like, he never wanted to, like, he didn't start creating with the intention of being one of the biggest YouTubers out there. Like, he was just doing it to entertain his friends at first, and to just like, you know, because he wanted to do comedy at first, and like he wanted to just put it out there, and then people just discovered this guy's like naturally hilarious. Me too. I want to be like him. Exactly. Like, he does really care about the quality of what he puts out there. But it's more like the bigger he got, the greater platforms he got to put his work out on. Like, I mean, the man made a movie. Like, a Hollywood director movie. Like, and I bet, like, if you told him that would happen, like, just as he would get to that point, just as he was starting his channel, he wouldn't believe it. It's more, yeah, they're genuinely, they do seem like nice guys. They do. They really do. And they're always like supportive of younger creators, and they always, yeah. I think that's why people just like them, is because they are your everyday guy. Yeah, he is. He does come across as that. And the fact that if you watch like his blogs, or if you like go to any of his like live streams, his membership streams, he's literally just so honest about what he has going on, and about like what kind of person he is like offline. And I just think that's really admirable, about how he genuinely really does care about the arts and his family, and like just growing as a person. And like, I know he like came across as a big kind of a jerk in his earlier content, but I think that's just because he was immature. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And like, yeah. And it's just like, people will continue to grow as long as they put the effort in. Like, that's the thing with being a content creator. Yeah, yeah. Well, also he had untreated ADHD at the time, so that can definitely make somebody kind of seem really angry. But it's okay. It's okay. He's gotten older. He's gotten wiser. Yeah. Yeah. Oh god. Imagine if I did theorist videos. Because boy, do I let the brain rot take over, and it can get a bit unhinged. Like, my brain rot for the things that I'm like passionate about, like, knows no bounds, and like it's very validating that maybe I can definitely cook up something. But like, this is just like something that I've noticed with, especially as I like get more media literate. But maybe it's because, yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, FNAF lore. Oh, yeah. Kodo's reading the Kingdom Hearts lore stream was really good. You should go watch it if you haven't yet. And Kingdom Hearts lore is just like crazy. Like, and like, it's so interesting. Kudo Ishida. She's one of my friends. I believe her channel link is in my profile, I believe. Yeah, go watch it. It's so funny. Oh, she does a good job with her content. No, I've only ever played the first Kingdom Hearts game. And a bit of Chain of Memories. I don't know anything beyond that. And it's like, once with all the spin-offs and like the midquels, and yeah, I heard the second one's really good. And it's just like, I don't know like what's happening. Yeah. Aren't they doing a fourth one? Oh no. I'm trying to think, like, what is the most... Totally not Tokyo. Yeah, totally not Tokyo. I'm trying to, like, think of what's the most mind-fucking thing I've ever read. Or, like, played, or, like, watched. I'm trying to think of, like, what... I'm trying to think. What's something that I genuinely thought was, like... I'm trying to think of the most brain-bendiest thing ever I've ever, like, played through or watched or read. Give me a moment here, because I've seen a few. Oh God. I think for me, what's something I could do, write a thesis on? I don't know. I don't think there's any like one thing that I could do that with. There's a bunch of things I could do that with. I guess maybe Silent Hill 2. I can probably write a thesis on that, like all the different themes. Or like I haven't pre-ordered the Sora amiibo. Or maybe I think I can do that with David Lynch's work. Just like do deep dives, or maybe even Kojima's work. Like I can honestly probably, like, I don't know if this is allowed, but I can probably like go through PT, because I don't have it, and that's like basically lost media at this point. But if I watch somebody's PT playthrough, I can probably like explain to you what everything means and like why I think Kojima put it there. No, we don't mention Metal Gear Survive. Speaking of Kojima, did you all watch the Game Awards? Like, okay, I'm gonna be real here. The Game Awards kind of sucked, but Kojima, like, his like reveal was kind of interesting. Like, so basically, it looks like Hideo Kojima is collabing with Jordan Peele. And we actually did watch a Jordan Peele movie on this channel before. We watched Get Out. So I think the way Jordan Peele and Kojima like create is very similar, where they just have like layers of commentary within their work. Yeah, they're going to be working on something together. But so I think the next Kojima thing besides Death Stranding 2 is going to be a horror game. And it's releasing on the Xbox. Exactly. Because I did listen to his podcast too. And he did have Jordan Peele. Yeah, exactly. They had Jordan Peele on the podcast as a guest, and it sounded like they really got along, and they had a great like rapport building there. And you know, Jordan Peele actually did grow up playing Metal Gear games, so I think there's a deep respect for each other's crafts. And there was that weird cloud technology thing where it's like the game downloads as you play it. Like the game is like, what is it? It's like, it's really weird the way he described it. It's like the game doesn't download all at once. It like loads as you're playing it, and it like adapts to how you're playing it. And like the game changes based on like how you play it and stuff like that. I mean, he's had that before, like the adaptable AI in his games, and like that was definitely a thing like before cloud gaming. But I think it like works in a way that it's like different for everybody. I think that's how it works. The way he explained it is like that. But I just don't know. But very interesting. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like, y'all know I would be on that shit day one. And like they got my girl Hunter Schafer in it too. That's so exciting. And like it's so cute too. Like I don't know how to describe this, but like Kojima does this thing where every time it's revealed that he is working with someone, he like kind of fanboys about them on his social media. Like he'll post about all the movies he's seen of them, and like he'll just say nice things about them, and I just think it's really cool when he does that. Like, we know the man's like crazy about Mads Mikkelsen, but it's just so nice to see him like raving about other creators, especially like younger creators. Because honestly, if I was an actress and like Kojima like wanted me to be in one of his projects, I would be like really? Like, you see that in me? Like, I would be so excited. I would probably die of joy, honestly. Just explode everywhere and just get Camby on guts all over everything and just like probably just ascend. Like, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah. Yeah, he literally became like he's living the main character life. He's got the means to work with the people he admires, and I just think that's so cool. And like he's so well regarded even in the movie industry that like I listen. Yeah. Like, he originally wanted to make movies, and now he's making games. He's, like, turning games into an elevated art form. Like, I feel like he did with Death Stranding. Like, he was the first one to make games into that sort of, like, that art form where the production rivals even Hollywood movies. Like, I feel like he was kind of the first to do that. Like, with Metal Gear Solid and all that. Like, it is basically a playable movie. And, like, I know a lot of people, they're, like, think that's... It's kind of like... I know a lot of people think you can almost critique it now because a lot of like studios are doing that whole elevated gaming experience, and it's kind of getting played out now. Like I feel like Death Stranding like is kind of a genre of its own now, because I feel like the whole open world exploration thing, exactly, they are memes. They are memes. But it's like everything that he's done with his games, he's like always like at least 10 years ahead of everybody with what he wants to do, and then everybody follows in his footsteps, but then it just kind of becomes repetitive. And yeah, it is a walking simulator, but the story is just so touching. That's why I think, like, if he's working with A24 to make a movie, because they just came out and said that they were going to have a movie made. I think it will do really well as a movie, honestly. Like, it might even... I didn't mind the gameplay, but it might even be more enjoyable as a movie. But... Exactly! Exactly! Oh gosh, what's that form where it's like... where you've seen something like 100 times. Yeah, the whole... Exactly. Or like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of... I forget. It was Sai who told me about that term. I don't remember. It's like when you watch like something that is considered like the codifier for an entire genre, it seems formulaic, but that's because it was the one that created that entire genre. Yeah, Elden Ring was really cool. No, not cliche, not cliche. It meant like founders? Trope setter, maybe? Yeah, maybe trope setter. Let me see, hang on. I would say it's codifier. Because it was kind of like how I said, like, I'm surprised that Boogie Pop Phantom isn't more popular in the West. Like, because that was the one that like started the whole like super powered like teens with crazy psychic powers. Like that anime style. Like people just kind of evolving into like a higher being. That was what had it. That was like the first anime. It was actually a light novel series, but that was like the first one to do that. Yeah. Exactly. But like, I know like Boogie Pop Phantom inspired Persona. And I definitely like mentioned this before, like a long time ago, that I'm surprised hardly anybody has heard about it. Like, I make jokes that like me and Bio are like the only two people that are in the fandom. or like it's, if you ever want to like see how my brain works, just watch that anime. It's a trip. It's a trip. It's in that like whole genre of art house anime, I will say. Or like the whole Devilman thing, like that came out in the 70s, but we've seen that dynamic where you have like two friends where one is like the hero and one is and the other is like the evil one. But like we've seen that play out so many times. And of course, like the whole plot line of the Cain and Abel plot line, like that is in one of the oldest texts in the world. that like whole story where you have these two brothers and one is like the cheerful older brother who's jealous of the younger brother, like the good one and the bad one. Like we've seen that story played out so many times, and like we see it a lot in anime and Japanese video games because that trope is so popular. Yeah. Like Kingdom Hearts actually has that trope where you have these two guys with a rivalry against each other, and one is like the heroic one and the other is the best friend who fell to the dark side. Like that, even Kingdom Hearts has that. Like Devilman has that, Berserk has that, like Naruto, like think about it. That's also my favorite shipping trope. Oops. Exactly. Yeah, because Riku was supposed to be the Keyblade wielder, wasn't he? But like, because he fell, the Keyblade chose Sora, because Sora was basically the only one around that had light in his heart, that who wasn't taken by the Heartless at that point. Because Kairi was gone. Kairi's heart was also like, also, but didn't Birth by Sleep like confirm that Sora was destined to be Keyblade wielder anyway, because he had Ventus's soul in him or something stupid like that? Like, also, if you think about it, like, a lot of the times the chosen one does fall. Like Anakin Skywalker, he was the chosen one and he fell. He was the chosen one within the Force. And then the Force was like, oops. Like Anakin kind of just died, so yeah, it's sad. Anakin Skywalker fell too. Like he had so much potential in him that the Jedi like wanted to train him, but then they ignored the fact that that was a kid who had feelings. And I am not a fan of the Jedi. I'm sorry, I'm a Jedi hater. I think the Jedi were very arrogant to think that they could take a child from his mother and not do anything about the mother and still have the kid be okay. Like, I'm coming out as a Jedi hater. I will hate on them. I don't necessarily think, like, I think there has to be. Yeah, the Sith. I don't think becoming a Sith means that you are truly gone. I do think, like, it's just something that happens to people where the Jedi path didn't work for them. And if you think about it, the Skywalker guys, especially Anakin and Ben Solo, they're very sensitive. like emotionally sensitive. But the problem is the Jedi just weren't equipped to deal with their emotions, and they were neglected. They were emotionally neglected. Like, they weren't heard. Their concerns weren't heard when they were young. Like, Anakin was concerned about his mother dying because he couldn't be there to protect her anymore. And he was right. He had vision, and the Jedi were like, "Oh, you're just anxious. Or anxious because you miss your mom." But no, Anakin was right to be afraid. Like, Anakin's fears just weren't addressed. He didn't have anybody to comfort him and just reassure him that things were going to be okay, as long as he like stayed calm, and that yeah, and exactly. The Jedi were just too stuck in their ways, and they were all like, "Oh, you need to like let go of attachments." Exactly. Because Obi-Wan did see. Because Obi-Wan did see what happened when you tried to hold on to the old ways of the Jedi. Like, Obi-Wan was Anakin's like teacher and best friend. Like, the Jedi did need to reform, and things did need to change. And that's why I will defend The Last Jedi, because that movie was all about change. Exactly. And also, you just have to remember that Anakin was just a kid. Anakin was just a kid when he left his mother. Like, children are very volatile emotionally. And they did say he was kind of old to be started training as a Padawan, too. So, like, Anakin was probably traumatized being taken away from his mother. Like, the kid needed to be with his mom, no matter how bad their situation was. And he didn't even want to be a Jedi. He wanted to be a pilot, too. And, like, you have to think, like, in the end, there was still good in Anakin. Like, Padme believed that, and yep. The boy needed a lot of therapy. He just felt his emotions too intensely for his own good. And I feel like Ben Solo was kind of the same way. But we saw, like, what happened when it kind of fell the other way with Ben Solo. Because what happened with Ben Solo was he had somebody, like, in his mind before he was even born, like, whispering those thoughts to him. Hello, John. Yep. Yeah, we're talking Star Wars, and we're shitting on Jedi. We're shitting on the Jedi. And I'm defending my boys Anakin and Ben Solo. And like, if you think, yep, exactly. And like, that's kind of why I like the ending of Last Jedi, because a lot of people thought the Force was just like something kind of inaccessible to regular people. But The Last Jedi proved that the Force really is for anybody. Yeah. I feel like if I was in Star Wars, I wouldn't be aligned with anybody. I'd be on my own. I wouldn't be a Jedi because I'm a very emotionally driven person. And I do care very deeply, and I can't let go of that. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I can't let go of attachments and all that. But I won't be a Sith either, because I don't find it in me to control others. Yep. Yep. Darth Sidious controlled 3 generations of Skywalkers. I'm sorry, but the whole thing with bringing Emperor Palpatine back in the last one was so stupid. Like, I kind of wish they had let Rey be her own character rather than be a Palpatine. Because that suited the whole narrative too. That Rey just came from nowhere. I liked that. And that really anybody could control the Force if they just worked hard enough. And that they needed to let go of the old ways. And I just like feel like that was kind of a last ditch throw, because I liked Rey Nobody. Like, I liked the idea of her being some junk trader's daughter who was like left in the desert and sold for drinking money. And to be honest, I thought Finn becoming a Jedi and like leading the Stormtrooper rebellion would have been more compelling than having Rey be the Jedi. Because if you think about it, in The Last Jedi, she rejected what Luke was trying to teach her. Like, it would have been better if she had just been like a pilot character. Yeah, that really made me sad. Was the wasted potential of Finn's character. No, I haven't. I haven't. That would have been so cool. Cool. Okay, yeah, post it in the Discord if you can. But like, I don't know, maybe I should have written the sequel trilogy. Like, I like the idea of the previous characters from the 3. I like the original trio being flawed people. I liked that. And them having faults. And like, I thought that was neat that, you know, like, the domestic life wasn't for Han Solo and Princess Leia, that they needed to be running off to play the hero. I liked that. Because let's be real here, someone as badass as Princess Leia is not going to be a housewife. Like, she's a general, she's a queen, like, she needs to be out on the battle lines, leading her people. And like, I liked that. And I liked that it showed, okay, yeah, they were shitty parents. Because, I mean, and like, I like the fact that Luke kind of fell into a depression when he nearly murdered his own nephew. Like, I thought that was cool that it showed them as flawed characters and that they needed to like let go of the idealistic hero image. Such a waste. And like, the worst of all is I felt really bad for Kelly Marie Tran. Just like the way she was treated. Like, not just by the fandom, but how her character was handled in the last movie. Like, she deserved better than that. But like, I'm sorry, my hot takes are a little stinky, but I like The Last Jedi. Oh, maybe. That would be so interesting. And maybe it's because I'm not an old Star Wars fan. Like I've mentioned before, I didn't really have much pop culture exposure. So maybe it's because I was a bit, like, older when I watched it. And, like, I watched it in 2020. So it was like, by then, I had a relative amount of real world experience. But stuff like that was like relatively new to me, so I think I was able to, and I watched it like all at once too. Like, I watched all the movies like in like a week. So maybe my just like views are a little different than somebody who is really into the lore versus like, and somebody who's like read the expanded universe. Yeah, maybe I would. And I also started with the prequel trilogy too. Like, I watched episodes 1, 2, 3 before I watched the original trilogy. So maybe that's why I was a little more like I hated the Jedi at first, because the Jedi in the first movie are just like a bunch of stuffy old men. Yeah. Maybe not, because they still had the same personalities in like the sequel trilogy. It was more they just got older, and their experiences changed them. Because one of the central points of Luke's characters, in my opinion, is his capacity for love. Because that was like his main conflict in the 6th movie, was he found out that Darth Vader was his father in The Empire Strikes Back. Maybe. Because I think like the conflict with Luke in the Return of the Jedi was he couldn't. Everybody said, oh, you need to defeat Darth Vader, but he couldn't like find it in himself to fight his own father once he found out that truth. The way I saw it, the way I saw that scene was Luke himself fell for dark thoughts too. Like the way I saw it, it was him like briefly giving into the intrusive thoughts. That's what I saw it, at least, because like I said, the Skywalker are very sensitive. So maybe the way I saw it, maybe Ben Solo's dark thoughts were influencing him too. But like he regretted it like instantly. Like he regretted it when he saw Ben Solo like turn around to give him that look. He knew it was wrong. And he did try to talk Kylo Ren out of, like, he did try to bring him back to the light side. He died to bring him back to the light side. And also Leia, like the whole point with her in that movie, with her like getting angry at Poe, was because she felt the weight of being a general, like just on her shoulders, of being somebody who needs to lead that better. Maybe if they had like, because I know there is a comic book that like shows the events leading up to that too. Oh. Yeah, they weren't supposed to be either. They were supposed to be like just his thing. Because like that was also a plot point in The Last Jedi, was Kylo Ren wanted to just leave everything behind, like the Republic and like the Order. He wanted to leave that all behind and like just be on his own with Rey. And it's okay. It's okay. Like that was why Rey and Kylo Ren kind of got into that fight, was he just wanted out. He wanted to go. He was done with everything. He was done with the dark side controlling him. But Rey wasn't ready to give up her loyalties to Leia and everyone else. Like that's what that throne room thing, that's what that whole "you're just holding on" scene was about. Because he just wanted to leave and be with the one person that understood him. But then again, after everything, yeah. Well, yeah, because he was both. He was both. He was meant to bring balance to the Force. Like, that's why he was the chosen one. Again, he was probably best on his own. As a pilot, that's probably what would have been best for him. But I don't know. I think I'm just so mad about how it ended, and how because I felt like how the Rise of Skywalker ended was just so like, it like didn't fit with the overall narrative of the entire series, in my opinion. Like, honestly, the way I would have ended it as I would have just had everybody like go to Naboo at the end and like throw a party in that place where Anakin and Padme got married. Just have everybody celebrate and just say, okay, this war is over. Ben Solo's back to the light. Like, we defeated Palpatine once and for all. Like, let's just rest now. Like, there's gonna be hope. And I would have, like, had... Yes, please do. I would have just had, like, it end with, like, everybody, like, celebrating because the war is over. Like, all the characters that we've, like, grown to love in the sequel trilogy, like just celebrating and having a party, like at the end of the Return of the Jedi, just having that party. But then it could like pan over and you see like everybody in the Force. You see like the Force ghosts just like kind of watching over them happily, because I felt like that would have been the best ending. Especially if they had especially if they got Hayden Christensen to like be a part of that too. I think that would have been very nice. Like, yeah, I remember that. Oh, are you proposing that it wasn't Palpatine? Yeah, how could Palpatine, like, be alive after that? That's what I'm asking. Like, it would have been so dumb to just have him come back with no explanation. Like, even when Poe says that, he just looks so tired. He said, the way he says it, it's just like, yeah. I don't know, it was just so stupid. Like, really stupid. That... Still Sith alchemy, that's so dumb. It would have been best if it was a different villain altogether. Like, maybe Hux. Maybe Hux just, like, losing his mind and, like, completely, like, just going balls deep with the whole, like, order, like, thing. Just a last-ditch effort to regain control. I think that would have been, like, the best ending. Just, like, this last act of desperation because he knows he's losing. Like, he's fighting a losing battle. And just, like, having... Yeah! That would have just been, like, the best way to do it, was just, like, have... Actually, yeah, maybe have Hux just, like, somehow revive Palpatine, or, like, bring back Palpatine to, like, motivate the... And, like, to motivate the Last Order to, like, fight back, say, hey, our leader's back, we need to, like, this is, like, the last battle. Like, that would have been cool. And, like, have Hux and Finn, like, have that showdown. Like, I think that would have been a cool ending. And what... Like, Finn deserved his big moment. Yeah! Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely, like, a good take. Like, okay, I will write that down. Like, Hux using some kind of trick to motivate his soldiers into fighting. I wanted him to be worse. I wanted him to go off the deep end. Like, totally. because Snoke was gone. Snoke was completely gone, and like Ben Solo was supposed to be Snoke's successor, but obviously what happened with Ben and Rey and the Last Jedi like really like tore at his heart. So I think what should have happened was Hux just like knows he's losing control. Like Ben is like being taken. Ben is like falling in love with this like girl that just came from the desert. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, he should have been like the I want unhinged Hux. I want mentally and emotionally torn apart Ben Solo in the final movie with Rey, and like having him like join the light side and fighting against Hux, and fighting against the people who used him for so long, and just like reclaiming his agency, and like and Finn just like leading all the other children who are brainwashed against the First Order, against the Last Orders. Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. But like, maybe, yeah, just let me rewrite the whole last movie. I would have made it better. Yes. let me rewrite Star Wars. I will rewrite Star Wars, and I will make it better. I will do it better. We'll have unhinged Hux. We'll have Reylo, but done good. And Ben Solo will live. Because, let's just face it, like, him dying made the original trio's deaths, like, a moot point. Like, Ben Solo dying just basically undid all the work they tried to do. Like, if Ben Solo living would have been the best way to honor them. And Rey and Ben get married at the end and have cute babies. There we go. Yes, I'm a filthy ratlow. Yeah. I didn't want Hux to be redeemed. Not all villains deserve to be redeemed. Or like, I guess if they wanted to redeem him, they could have let him go the Draco Malfoy route. In my opinion. But, I don't know. But wasn't there supposed to be another villain? He was supposed to be played by Matt Smith, I believe, but... Yeah. But, you know, I think it just would have been a nice ending if it was like a good way to honor the original, like the original trio, while still like keeping the spirit of what Star Wars is alive, because ultimately Star Wars is a family drama in space. It's not about like pew pew guns. It's about, yeah, Rey Skywalker. Are you kidding me? No. She did not like Luke Skywalker at all. Like, she barely knew Han Solo. She did not get along well with Luke. She probably had some kind of begrudging respect for him. And like, yeah, I think she did. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Her relationship with Leia was all off screen. Like, I definitely think she did care about Leia a lot. But, I mean, she wasn't close to any of the, like, she didn't have it. The only meaningful scenes she had with any of the original trio were not positive. Yeah, that's weird to take their name. And Leia did not have the Skywalker name either. She had her parents' names, Organa. Honestly? Honestly, I think it wouldn't. Yeah. The people she was close to in the movies were Finn and Ben Solo. Like, those were her friends. And Finn didn't have a last name either. Like I think Finn and Ben Solo and Rey should have been the trio. Like, honestly. Like, I think that would have made a more compelling story. Rather than just, like, bringing back the old, you know? But it's like, it's like, I know that my opinions are unpopular, though. Like, I don't know. I just, like, see Star Wars for what it is, and it's a family drama to me. It's a soap opera. It's a silly soap opera in space. It's all family drama. Like, to me, Star Wars is a space fantasy. It's not really sci-fi. It's all about it's a space opera. It's about romance and family and friends, and like, when you watch Star Wars, like, what sticks out to you the most? Is it, to me, it's personally like the way the characters interact with each other. It's a character-driven narrative. Like, I don't remember all the alien planets names. I don't remember, like like the weapons or any of the spacecraft's names, but I do remember what the characters did. And like the relationships between them, that's like what I remember about it. And I remember Luke going through like the hero's journey and all that, and like what he did. And like how he became strong and a hero in his own right. Like that's how it is to me. At least. Alright, well, I think that's gonna be it for me tonight. Yeah. I think that's gonna be it for me tonight. But it was nice talking to you all and catching up. And exactly, you do remember the Millennium Falcon. Of course, thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Alright, as always, I will see you in the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.